Did you know that right now, as you're watching this video, there are people walking among us who possess more wealth than entire countries, yet you've never heard their names? While we obsess over the Forbes billionaire list, the truly ultra-rich have mastered something far more valuable than money itself: the art of invisibility. These financial phantoms control vast empires from the shadows, and today I'm going to reveal the 15 secrets they use to stay completely off your radar. Before we dive into these closely guarded secrets, here's what's truly shocking. The richest person you can name probably isn't even in the top 50 of actual wealth holders worldwide. The names that dominate headlines are often just the public face of wealth, while the real puppet masters remain hidden. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how they do it, and more importantly, why they go to such extraordinary lengths to stay invisible. Secret number 1, they never own anything directly. This might sound counterintuitive, but the ultra-wealthy have learned that ownership equals visibility, and visibility equals vulnerability. Instead of putting their names on assets, they create intricate webs of trusts, shell companies, and holding structures that span multiple countries and jurisdictions. When someone tries to trace ownership of that massive estate or private jet, the paper trail leads to a company registered in Delaware, which is owned by a trust in the Cayman Islands, which is managed by a firm in Switzerland, which reports to another entity in Singapore. It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Secret number 2, they master the art of geographic arbitrage, but not in the way you might think. While most people understand geographic arbitrage as living in a cheap place while earning money from an expensive place, the ultra-rich use it to exploit legal and privacy differences between countries. They'll be citizens of one nation, residents of another, have their businesses registered in a third country, and keep their assets in a fourth. This creates a legal maze that makes it nearly impossible for any single government or organization to get a complete picture of their wealth and activities. Moving to secret number 3, they understand that information is the ultimate currency, and they control it ruthlessly. The ultra-wealthy employ teams of specialists whose sole job is to monitor and manage information about their clients. These aren't just public relations professionals. They're information warfare experts. They monitor social media mentions, news articles, public records, and even academic research that might reference their clients. When potentially damaging or revealing information surfaces, they don't just try to suppress it. They flood the space with alternative narratives, create confusion about facts, and sometimes even plant false information to discredit legitimate reporting. Secret 4 reveals how they weaponize charity and philanthropy. While the public sees charitable giving as selfless acts of generosity, the ultra-rich use philanthropy as a sophisticated tool for wealth preservation, tax avoidance, and reputation management. They establish private foundations that technically give away money, but maintain control over how it's used. These foundations can pay salaries to family members, fund travel and entertainment disguised as charitable work, and even invest foundation money in for-profit ventures that benefit the founder's other interests. More importantly, being known as a philanthropist provides perfect cover for wealth. People assume you're giving it away, not accumulating more. The 5th secret involves creating decoy wealth. The ultra-rich understand that human psychology drives people to focus on what they can see and measure, so they deliberately create visible markers of moderate success while hiding their true wealth. They might live in a nice but not ostentatious home in an upper-middle-class neighborhood, drive a luxury car but not a supercar, and maintain a lifestyle that suggests they're wealthy, but not extraordinarily so. Meanwhile, their real assets are hidden in complex financial instruments, private equity investments, and offshore structures that don't appear in any public database. Secret number 6 is perhaps the most psychologically sophisticated. They cultivate the image of being just another professional. Many ultra-wealthy individuals present themselves as consultants, advisors, or executives rather than owners. They might introduce themselves as working for a company rather than owning it. This psychological sleight of hand is incredibly effective because people treat employees and owners very differently. An employee, even a highly paid one, doesn't attract the same attention, scrutiny, or requests for money that a known owner would face. The seventh secret involves strategic use of debt and leverage that most people completely misunderstand. While conventional wisdom says debt is bad and you should pay it off as quickly as possible, the ultra-rich use debt as a tool for both wealth building and wealth hiding. They borrow money against their assets instead of selling them, which allows them to access cash without triggering tax events or revealing the true extent of their wealth. More cleverly, they structure these loans through multiple entities, making it nearly impossible to track the true collateral or understand the borrower's real financial position. Moving to Secret 8, they master the timing of everything. The ultra-wealthy don't just hide their wealth, they hide their actions. They make major moves during news cycles when attention is focused elsewhere. They time their transactions, investments, and even charitable giving to coincide with major world events, holidays, or other distracting news. This isn't coincidence. They employ analysts whose job is to identify optimal timing windows when their activities are least likely to attract attention or scrutiny. Secret 9 reveals how they exploit legal loopholes that most people don't even know exist. The ultra-rich don't just follow tax laws, they help write them through lobbying and political influence. But more subtly, they exploit the gaps between different legal systems. International law is a patchwork of agreements and jurisdictions, and skilled legal teams can find ways to structure activities that are technically legal everywhere, but effectively regulated nowhere. These aren't necessarily illegal schemes. They're sophisticated uses of legal complexity that most people and even most governments don't fully understand. The 10th secret is about network effects and mutual protection. The ultra-wealthy don't operate in isolation. They form informal networks where members protect each other's privacy and interests. These networks share information about threats, coordinate responses to unwanted attention, and sometimes even create deliberate distractions to protect individual members. When one member faces scrutiny, others might suddenly become more visible or controversial to draw attention away. It's like a very sophisticated version of the way schools of fish protect themselves from predators. Secret 11 involves the strategic use of family structures that go far beyond simple inheritance planning. Ultra-wealthy families create dynastic trusts that can last for centuries, remove assets from individual ownership while maintaining family control, and spread wealth across multiple generations in ways that make it nearly impossible to calculate any individual's net worth. These structures often include provisions that automatically trigger additional privacy protections if anyone tries to investigate the family's wealth too closely. The 12th secret is perhaps the most counterintuitive. They sometimes deliberately court small controversies to hide bigger secrets. By allowing minor negative stories to circulate about themselves, they create the impression of transparency while actually concealing much larger issues. It's a psychological principle called anchoring. When people think they know something negative about someone, they're less likely to dig deeper. A small scandal about an expensive vacation can effectively hide billion-dollar tax avoidance schemes because people feel like they already have the full story. Secret 13 reveals how they use technology both to hide and to monitor. While most people think of digital privacy in terms of protecting their personal information, the ultra-rich use advanced technology to actively monitor and manipulate their digital footprint. They employ specialists who use artificial intelligence and big data analytics to predict when they might face unwanted attention and preemptively take steps to minimize their visibility. They also use technology to monitor their enemies, critics, and even their own employees to ensure their secrets remain safe. Moving to Secret 14, they understand that the best hiding place is often in plain sight, but with a twist. Instead of trying to be completely invisible, some ultra-wealthy individuals create public personas that are so boring, predictable, or unremarkable that people lose interest quickly. They might give the same bland interview repeatedly, maintain social media accounts that post only generic content, or appear at public events but never say anything memorable. This strategic mediocrity is incredibly effective because human attention naturally gravitates toward the interesting and unusual. The final secret, number 15, is the most powerful of all. They've learned to make their wealth work independently of their identity. Through sophisticated financial engineering, they create systems where their wealth generates more wealth without requiring their direct involvement or leaving traces back to them personally. This might involve algorithmic trading systems, complex derivative strategies, or investments in industries where ownership is naturally obscured. The ultimate goal is to reach a point where their wealth has its own momentum and existence, separate from their personal identity. But here's what's truly mind-blowing about all of these secrets. They're not just about hiding money. They're about understanding that in our modern world, privacy itself has become the ultimate luxury. While most people struggle to maintain even basic digital privacy, the ultra-wealthy have created entire ecosystems designed to give them something that's becoming increasingly rare. The ability to exist without constant scrutiny, to make mistakes without public consequence, and to operate without having their every move analyzed and criticized. The psychological impact of this level of privacy is enormous. Imagine being able to take risks, make investments, or even make mistakes without worrying about public backlash. Imagine being able to have genuine relationships without wondering if people are interested in you or your wealth. This freedom to operate authentically, without performance or pretense, might be more valuable than the wealth itself. What makes these strategies even more effective is that they're constantly evolving. The ultra-wealthy employ entire teams of specialists who do nothing but monitor changing regulations, technological developments, and social trends that might affect their privacy strategies. When new laws are passed or new technologies emerge, these teams immediately analyze how they might impact their clients' invisibility and develop countermeasures. Perhaps most importantly, these individuals understand that true wealth isn't just about accumulating assets. It's about maintaining the freedom and flexibility to use those assets however you choose. Visibility creates obligations, expectations, and limitations. When people know you're wealthy, they expect you to behave in certain ways, contribute to certain causes, and maintain certain standards. Invisibility preserves choice. The irony is that while we live in an age of unprecedented transparency and information sharing, the people with the most to hide have become better at hiding than ever before. They've turned our connected world into their advantage, using the very systems designed to increase transparency to create deeper obscurity. Understanding these secrets doesn't just satisfy curiosity, it reveals important truths about how power and influence actually work in our world. The next time you see a billionaire's name in the headlines, remember that you're probably looking at someone who chose to be visible, not someone who represents the pinnacle of wealth accumulation. So what does this mean for the rest of us? While we might not have the resources to implement these strategies at the same scale, understanding them gives us insight into the real mechanics of wealth and power. It also raises important questions about transparency, accountability, and what kind of society we want to create. What's your take on these revelations? Do you think this level of privacy is a legitimate right of wealth, or does it represent a problem for society? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this deep dive into the hidden world of the ultra-wealthy fascinating, make sure to subscribe for more content that reveals the secrets behind how our world really works.